So, hello there, and welcome back to another Night of the Movies podcast. I'm Spy Knight, and in these podcasts, I love talking all things movies and TV, and whatever I want, wherever I want. And in today's podcast, I'm reviewing this new thriller called Drop. So, let's get into it, shall we? Drop, as I've just said, is this new thriller starring Megan Fahey. Apologies for mispronouncing her name, but I think I just got it right, actually. Megan Fahey, which many people might know from The White Lotus Season 2, and Brendan Sklenar, which many people might know from the Yellowstone spin-off in 1923, and he was also in the film It Ends With Us, which came out last year. However, I did not see that film. But anyway, those are the two lead stars from this film, Megan Fahey and Brendan Sklenar. And I'll be upfront with you, I did not have many expectations going in to watch this film at the cinema yesterday, because the trailers didn't really do it for me. But I went into the film, I went to go and see the film at the cinema, should I say. I went to the cinema to go and watch this film because it's been receiving very positive reviews, which did surprise me, but, you know, when a film's getting positive reviews, the chances are I'm going to go and check it out. And because the film was getting positive reviews, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to the cinema to watch at least one film this week. Why not it be this film? Because it's getting all this buzz. So I went to the cinema yesterday, not expecting much, but hoping to be pleasantly surprised nonetheless. And the Google plot synopsis for this film goes as follows. Violet, played by Megan Fahey in the film, is a widowed mother who goes to an upscale restaurant to meet Henry, played by Brendan Sklenar in the film, her charming and handsome date. However, her pleasant evening soon turns into a living nightmare when she receives phone messages from a mysterious hooded figure who threatens to kill her young son and sister unless she kills Henry, her date for that evening. And that's pretty much all I need to know about the film before seeing it. And honestly, I thought this was a good film. Not a great film, but a good film. I thought it was all killer, no filler. There was no part where I was thinking, oh, you could easily edit this out and the film would be shorter and tighter. No, I didn't think the film was tight enough for what it was. I enjoyed watching it in the cinema. I thought that the performances elevated the film. I thought that Megan Fahey was believable as this widowed mother who is worried about what's going to happen to her kid and is just trying to enjoy her date at the same time. I totally believed in the role. Same with Brendan Sklenar. I thought he was really good, and this is the first time I've seen him in something. You know, I know he's in 1923, and I know he's in It Ends With Us, but I haven't seen either of those things. So this is the first time I saw him in something, and I thought he gave a good performance. Plus, the film is well produced. I thought it had a certain style to it that at times did feel a little messy for my liking and a little rushed, particularly towards the end, but there's a certain style in the directing which reminded me of Hitchcock. The whole idea is very Hitchcockian. I think that's the word people use to refer to films that have a sort of Hitchcock feel to them. You know, this film has a Hitchcockian feel to it, and a modern Hitchcockian feel to it at that, which I also liked. And sure, some of the twists in the film are predictable, but I kind of like the way they played out. Yeah, I had a good time watching it in the cinema. It's not without its problems. There were plot holes in this film which you can drive a bus through. There are some twists which are far-fetched, to say the least. And because of the nature of this film, because the majority of this film takes place in one setting with a limited group of characters, it's pretty easy to guess who is behind everything, who is orchestrating this nightmare that our lead character is going through. Because of that, I felt that the guessing game I was having with the film could have been done better if you just introduced a couple more characters. I don't know, going into the lobby of this restaurant, and or you just introduce more characters in this restaurant, because we see there's like about 30 people in this restaurant that our main characters having this date in, but we only really know about 5 of them. And I felt if we knew a couple more, I don't know, the tension could have been better, because I did not feel the tension building was the best. And perhaps that's also because, yeah, sure, the film's well produced, but I didn't feel that it was as polished as it could be. You know, sometimes the filmmaking was a little messy for me and did jump around, particularly towards the end when it it went in a direction that I did not expect. The big climax to the film was, again, a little far-fetched for my liking. I did get to the end and I was thinking, oh, that was the direction you took with the climax? Oh, okay. I mean, the rest of the film almost felt like it was from a completely different movie. That being said, I had a good time with it in the cinema, and I want to reiterate that because I've been to cinema quite a bit over the past couple of months. I go to cinema all the time, and I have not had the best time with quite a few movies that I've seen recently. But like I said earlier on this review today, I wasn't expecting much, and I came in the cinema thinking, you know what, I'm glad I saw that. And I think it also helps that my cinema experience was enhanced by someone in the cinema who was cheering along and making noises every time something happened in the film. Like every time there was a quote unquote shocking moment that I didn't really find shocking, but the person in the cinema clearly did, they go and that did enhance my viewing experience. I didn't get that from the film. I found the film engaging enough, but I didn't find it that engaging. But there was somebody in the cinema who was cheering towards the end, and every time something shocking happened, every time there was like a jump scare of some sort, or the tension was starting to build, you could hear this person in the cinema really getting into it. So that did enhance my viewing experience, and I thought it was a good idea, and I liked the sort of Hitchcockian feel to it. It's nothing special, and it's probably one of those movies which is going to do better on streaming. I can see this being one of those movies that, you invite a group of friends around, you all watch, and you get into it, you start guessing what's going to happen, you start guessing who's behind everything, but then as soon as the film was over, you move on with your evening. It's nothing special, but it's worth a watch, and that's more praise than I've given quite a few films that I've reviewed over the past couple of weeks to months on this channel. That's more praise I've given to a lot of the films that I've reviewed in 2025 on this channel so far. So yeah, I liked it for what it was. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Drop, I'm going to say that it's a 7 out of 10. I'm giving it that rating because it is a solid film. I mean, there's a lot of problems with it, but the reality is, if a film's entertaining and if it takes your mind off what your mind might be on going into the cinema, then it's doing its job. I didn't feel that well going into the cinema yesterday. I felt a bit tired because I've not been getting a lot of sleep recently. My sleep plans all over the place. Not that you guys care about that at all. But anyway, I didn't feel too great going into cinema. And then about 5 minutes in, I completely forgot about what was going on outside of the cinema, and I like a film which is escapism and, managed to make you forget what's going on in your life. And if a film doing that, then it's doing its job. If it's entertaining, then it's doing its job. If it's enjoyable to watch, then it's doing its job. And yes, this film's got a lot of problems, but it was enjoyable to watch. Therefore, that's why I'm giving it a positive review today. So yeah, I liked it. It's silly. It leans on the silly side. It is far-fetched, but, for what it is, I think it works. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Drop. And so, all in all, as I've already said, and as I'm going to say once more in this podcast today, Drop is a 7 out of 10 from me. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's podcast. If you have seen Drop, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like and subscribe on this video if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the podcast, of course. And look forward to many videos and many more podcasts coming very, very soon on this channel. As I've already said, thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast, and I will see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.